Hey everybody. Okay, can you are all hear as well?
Have a look in the comments. Good morning. Good morning, Stock Lemming and Toby, Grandpa JDK. Oh, well, we better behave.
Yeah, a lot of people already there. Nice.
Apparently, audio's coming in well. 7 a.m. Someone's up early on the West Coast. Good to see that. For those that don't know, I'm drinking yerba mate, hence Orajo or Rajo, the Yer Berserker. It all makes sense.
So, what's the link between between the Mad and your Berserker?
Yerba mate is part of it. Also,
Oh,
like a bear idea, yerba, bear, bearsker, Canada, and berserker, kind of like this, like warrior-ish, element. So yeah,
yeah, I got it,
when
got it.
I had to create my secret Web3 profile, that's and Oraho was my the first part of my Star Wars name, which we can get into another time. How you create your Star Wars names, but I used that for gaming for many years.
So mine was less secretive Web3 space nickname. YB is my initials. So that's much simpler.
It stands for Young Balladeer.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and YB, which translates in French into pourquoi être, so just YB, it's a philosophical question.
Ah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so
I
yeah,
was gonna say, how
welcome
long should we
people.
wait? Yeah.
Oh, we don't wait. We already have nine people. Some of them are about to go to work. Some are already at the work. So we're recording right now. So this will be possible to replay that on Twitch. We will post that on YouTube later on for the next live that we will do. We will be live on YouTube, but for now we had to finish some small validation with them. So yeah, so let's just start. We are at 15 people on Twitch right now. So welcome home, people. And the goal of today is to present a bit of information about the Soakverse and Club 101 partnership. Some things that some a partnership that makes a lot of sense for what's coming up. And as we all know, in difficult times like the bear market and crypto, the best way to survive is just to do bigger and broader alliances and just like work together to create more value and get through the bear and strong into the bull. So this is a big reason why this partnership makes a lot of sense. So yeah, so let's present it. Let's present why and how it did lead to that partnership. So just a bit of history. So last fall, I know that Grandpa and Orajo did discover Solvers and started to be very active in the community to buy some of the NFTs. And then I did collaborate a lot with Orajo in the background to help to define the vision, to help to get through the rough patch that Solvers did get into, also with some founders leaving for because we had different visions and different objectives from the project. So yeah, so we did collaborate a lot. We did meet some people, so we've seen how the Web3 space and the collaborative space is pretty strong. We met some artists. I know that there are a lot of skilled individuals in Club 101. We had some collaboration from many people, and including Enigmatic Octopi that some people knows from the Discord. So we did collaborate. We did have some private, public, and all discussions. So and yeah, and in the club there are a lot of skilled individuals on top of that. So the three ancient dragons are all entrepreneurs in different aspects. And so. like I said, it made sense to combine the skills, the tech skills that we have in Soakverse, the marketing, the artist, the management skills that there is in Club 101. We also have Michael in Soakverse that is like a numbers crushing person, like in not just numbers, he can tackle a lot of things in a small amount of time. When that guy gets on the level, when he is in, he can work 20 hours in a row and finish something from start to finish, which a lot of people have often problem to do, because like we start things and then we don't finish those. So he is someone that he does it from the start to the finish and make sure that it's done. So yeah, so the goal is really to, through that partnership, to reuse the text, the knowledge, and the network that we have, and just flywheel that into something bigger, and make sure to respect the value of both projects, but to work together to expand more and more. So it will help us create what I would say resiliency. So like being more resilient by not being affected by some of the wall black swan events that we've seen in the past, not just in the Web 2 space, but not just in the Web 3 space, but in the Web 2 and in the world in general. So as a community, we can create a lot of resiliency with all our skill sets combined together. So that's the reason of that partnership and a big goal, and I believe that we already started to achieve that goal, and that we will more and more as we deploy what's coming up in near future. So yeah, so tangibly, we want to create projects together. We want to create more outreach to other communities by being built on strong foundation and being able to help other communities through the skill sets and the projects that we create. Support projects with our resources, create more opportunities for the communities, the club, Sockverse, and us combined internally and also externally. And it's something pretty important to me and to many people from the community, and I know to the club, give more to charity. So something pretty important in my opinion. Not just giving money to charities, but act, being able to act in the world and do much more with our time and resources. So yeah, so that's my summary of that partnership. I know that Raja will have some more words to add on, but so let's continue with what you have to say, Raja.
Well, I think you did a really good job. Um, oh, hello. I get the big screen. All right. Well, usually I wear something a bit more formal, but this is my Restless Master Tee. This is the physical from that project. It's a project that we've been watching a lot and sharing a lot of alpha at Club 101 about. So I figured I would represent and wear that. So, what I think, I absolutely resonate with what you're saying. I think that the partnership makes huge sense in that it allows, yeah, the resiliency and the combining of different skill sets, different talented individuals, different talented members, and the projects are so aligned energetically. There's I'll in the little presentation I managed to put together. I'll talk a little bit about this, but the space has so much ruggery and bullshit, that Web3 is like synonymous with crap, and it's ridiculous. It doesn't need to be. Like, the disruptive tools of Web3 are beautiful, and they should just help Web2 do things in even better ways. And I think that what we see so much around the space is a lack of maturity, a lack of vision, this weird throwing stuff around. And so, to actually, for us, ancient dragons, old farts, that are at this disruption, that are looking at these opportunities, that are looking to take what has worked, what does work, and bring it into what can work with the new tech attached to it, just makes sense. And that's what we were structuring around. And I remember when we discovered Soapverse and saw the tech, saw what the community was doing, saw what the team was funding and rolling out, it was just beautiful. And the integrity, the integrity really and honesty was there, and the delivery in the building, and the putting in time and energy. And I think that's something that, like you were saying, in a bear, really stands out. Who has a vision? Who has a path? And when it gets difficult, keeps showing up and keeps walking. I mean, it's climbing a mountain. I know you like the outdoors. We're Canadian. We are obligated to. But so climbing a mountain is not easy. And until you do it, you're like, oh, it's just easy climbing. But it's like, no, you got to keep stepping. And the beautiful reality is, as long as you keep taking a step, you make it to the top. So um, I can always whip out analogies, but I'll stop now and just say, I'm really excited, and I know that the Ancient Dragons are, and the rest of the team, very excited at this partnership and how it just it fits together like PB and J, peanut butter and jam. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty excited too about that partnership and about what we can create out of it. I know that the Soulverse community is also, and let's just leverage that that partnership and those skill sets to create something bigger and get ready for the next waves into crypto and the market in general. Cool. So we will continue a bit with some information about Soakverse as a whole, leading into some information about the Club 101, and then we will be able to take some questions. Questions will be oriented towards the partnership itself. We have some other upcoming announcement about some more stuff in the Club 101 in Soulverse, and we will do more and more of those live events. So we did set up things that it makes it easier to go live and to just like discuss about what's coming up. So it's something that we want to do more frequently, as we have more frequent updates to do. As you know, with Soulverse in the past few months, there has been more of a slow phase. It was summer for a lot of people, even like the activity in Discord or in general was a bit slower. But like leading into fall, we start to have much more activity, and it was slower on the community side, I would say, but not on the development side. A lot of things was going on, and is still going on right now. We did revamp a lot of our technologies. Many people are already aware, like that the app has been rebuilt from scratch, except for the visual, but most of the code has been rewritten. There is some reason to that for Soakverse and for partners, so for Club 101. We did rewrite a lot of our smart contracts leading into the automation. So automation of the ecosystem has been a bit delayed again, because like we needed to pour a lot of time into the underlying text and make sure that we're ready to start on strong foundation. It's all done right now, so fully done. I did finish some small development adjustment on the app yesterday for some more stability and some visual aspects. So yeah, so for the automation, for people not knowing what is automation, our ecosystem is kind of a protocol where there is a lot of flow of liquidity in the form of the Sockman token. So that token will be used to orchestrate a lot of the things in our ecosystem, and the automation will get deployed in the next few days. We have people waiting on this also on the partnership side. So we will do some co-marketing with some technologies that we are using. You will see some campaigns with Chainlink. We are in discussion with the Binance Smart Chain team, so the BNB chain team, to do some co-marketing, to do some co-development, to have some advisory from them, and even discussing for some grants. So a lot of things going on that will help Soulverse support also partners and other community ecosystem, because this is really the goal there. The goal is um, like we've all seen other projects. I will not name any, but that they said that we need to close because like our developers are just too expensive and we don't have the ability to continue to develop what we had in mind. We spent all the money, and with the bear market, our assets crashed. So now we have no value and we have no money and we have no funding. So this is something that is not happening with Soakverse for many reasons. We have pieces that is self-funded because we are all entrepreneurs and we have other sources of incomes. It's not Soakverse at all is not a source of income. So it can help us support other projects. I know that on the side of the Club 101 and Soakverse also we have some members that are continuously investing in the ecosystem. So they are they are just like really true believer, and that they have seen that both projects are constantly working on deploying on creating new products, and also so yeah, so we don't have that problem internally. We use the skill set of our members, we use the resources that we have at hand, and we can continue to push forward. So so yeah, so this is the kind of resiliency we were talking a bit. So so yeah, in Soulverse we did develop a lot of things lately, and even with our sister project, which is Saltman, which is a private entity, but it's a private entity that gives us the ability when we want to create investment opportunities that are securities or that are private equity. We can do it because we created a framework to do it, which we've seen with Le Grand Bleu. Le Grand Bleu is moving pretty fast. We will have another AMA regarding just Le Grand Bleu coming up in pretty shortly. So right now, not the goal to discuss that in the AMA. I know that some people have some questions. We did work a lot in the background to get in place like new tools, a good framework for the management, the marketing. We did improve the branding. We did improve the social medias. Um, that's something like people doesn't know, but Jordan did help, and he did help like for free just because he believes in the project. It was just like, hey, I can give you my ideas, I can give you my opinion, I can help you with that content. And it was just like a way to collaborate to create, like said, resiliency across all the projects. So so yeah, that framework will be used in the future for any project that needs that kind of regulation. It's not all projects that we will create that are investment products, but some are, and we're going the regulated way. Let it be in the United States or in other regulation with some other members. I know that in the Club 101 they did create frameworks for that also. That is fully following regulation where it needs to. Um, so yeah, so it led lately to in Solver the creation of the DAO, and the DAO is really the thinking that behind the fact that the community as a whole contributing together will create more value, and in creating more value is not just wealth, it's knowledge, and it's the ability to be able to support the products that we create, and also to be able to give back to the world. So this is when I say value, it's not like just monetary value, it's really like value all across the board. So the DAO, a lot of news lately. We switched things back into being fully decentralized, no private company interacting with it. The DAO will take the decisions to hire some external company if needed, and everything will be automated on chain, so transparently done on chain. Everybody will be able to see what's going on in real time when it happens. So I believe that will create a lot of velocity, a lot in the near future. So, and again, resiliency, because we're not extracting value, we're we're creating value. There is value flowing in instead of flowing out. So, yeah, that will be pretty cool. And with the tools and frameworks that we did create and work on during the past 2 years, like 2 years of constantly working on this, yeah, that will get pretty cool. So yeah, the the charitable portion of Solverse is and will get more and more and more important. So I know that we have some members that are very implicated already. I've seen some people saying that they constantly do charitable work and that they help some organization delivering what they have to deliver and all. So I know that this is a portion where the DAO and the partnership with Club 101 together, we can help the world, and we can just give back. Let it be time, let it be knowledge, let it be monetary value and all of that. So that's really something coming up, and that we want to put more emphasis on this. But at first, we needed to be in a position where we are stable and pretty like ready to push. Before giving back, we need to make sure our foundation are solid, and this is what's coming up and what is already in place. Um, yeah, small thing. I know that there is some question regarding the play to earn. We did postpone it for multiple reasons. The market, our tech was not fully ready, so it would have been a bit more rudimentary to push. And we've seen other projects being flops because like they wanted to go too quick, and then the gamification part of things was not well received. So we did continue to work on this very actively. There are some things getting developed. There are some pieces that will be released before the game itself. So being able to open the loot boxes and to collect some new items and all of that, it will start progressively, but we will deploy the full play to earn in a timely manner where we know that the market is ready for it. There is some more velocity, and that the product itself is ready. It's pretty important because like else nobody will be able to play and earn because like it will just be a momentary Ponzi and then it will flop. So how we built it is to be able to benefit the whole ecosystem, gamify the environment, so make it fun to interact with, but in a way that with the knowledge that's brought in, with the courses that will come in the future, with the investment opportunity, we make sure to always flywheel things. So the attention brought from the play to earn will be flywheeled into other things, and this is how we will be able to sustain it long term. And this is why that step and that postponing of the play to earn was pretty important. We have no dates. It's coming. I don't want to make false promises. We did in the past, not that it was false promises, but things are shifting so fast in Web3. We needed to change things and to change the schedule and to move things. So yeah, no promises yet on anything regarding the play to earn. Many portions of it is already developed. Some other doesn't need much more work, so it's more like matter of where we put the efforts right now and what we'll bring back into Soakverse, the DAO, and our partnerships. So let's discuss this a bit later, not today. Cool. So I did talk a lot already. Try to do it fast because we only have one hour. So that will lead into Rajil presenting some more stuff regarding Club 01 and some upcoming milestone and all. So I'll give you the voice now, Rajil. You're muted.
And then I hit my camera. Okay, perfect. No, you did great. That was timely. It was efficient. We're only 24 minutes in, and it was good because it gave me time to add some extra stuff into my presentation. So let's just see if I can load this up here. Hi. Please forgive any technical difficulties as this is my first time doing this. Oh, now I've got to upload it. Okay, so that was wonderful and a great introduction, I think, about Soakverse to all of the members in Club 101 who aren't really familiar with it. I don't know how people wouldn't be familiar with it. We've been talking about it for ages in our Club 101 Alpha, even before we became partners, and then talking about as we became partners. It's processing. Hey, there we go. Add to stream. Sweet. Okay. Let's see if I can tab with it. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Smooth. Okay. All right. So basically, I wanted to just give the Soakverse members and anyone else watching a brief overview. Sorry, I'm going to hide the brand names. No Polish water sponsorship here. The problem with drinking yerba mate is sometimes you get a little thing stuck on your throat. YB knows from meetings we've had. I'm like down for a minute coughing. Okay,
It happens pretty often.
not that often. Okay. So, anyways, so I just wanted to do a quick sort of overview about Club 101, what we're about, where we came from, why we're formed, and a bit about where we're going. So, welcome to Club 101, the Den of Dragons, where legends are born and legacies are crafted. There's our Discord. Swing on by. Well, I usually say fly on by for co-branding. It's nice. And you can follow us on Twitter. We don't have our YouTube fully rocking yet, so don't worry about liking, subscribing, or any of that stuff. So why Club 101 exists, and I mean, and part of why, you know, Soakverse does as well, is, you know, we were in other projects and we looked and there's these problems. And one of the big ones is what I call the difference between NFT projects versus projects with NFTs, aka projects that utilize Web3. And I talked a bit about this earlier. In the space, you see all kinds of NFT projects, people selling PFPs, people selling stuff, not really having a business sense, a roadmap, any resources. They were just, because the cost to entry was so low. You had all these people just jumping in the space, degenning all over the place, and people probably, no offense, I shared something in the club about this the other day. It was like Steve Jobs getting totally battered in a AMA, old school AMA. Someone asking him and just taking him apart, and his professionalism in his response was amazing. And that professionalism we do not see often in the Web3 space. You know, people just losing their crap all over the place or being egoic. So I think projects with NFTs, we looked and we said we want to be projects with NFTs. We want to take what worked in Web 2. We want to take those things. We want to take advantage of Web 3. So problems: Web 3 unprofessionalism, the ruggery that's out there, crap services, lack of credibility, people being anonymous, selfish, and just the immaturity. So Club 101, the Ancient Dragons, this was our solution. It was really focusing on sound projects that utilize Web3. The promise of Web3 based around transparency and accountability because of the blockchain. It's like, man, I feel like in government, we could solve a lot of things. Both the left and the right distrust the other side. If we just had people vote that said, we want accountability and transparency because we don't trust the other people, man, stuff would just be cleaned right up, you know? Anyways, moving on. So, the solution: building trust and authority through steady delivery, through rolling stuff out, building step by step, as well as scaling the collective strengths of the resident membership. I said to YB earlier, one of the things that always fascinates and delights me is the question of the person across from me. If they had all of the resources, time, energy, and support to just like kick ass at what they're amazing at, to go into that, what would they create? What would they do? What that would look like? How would that benefit the world? And I mean, we'd all be recipients of that. And so that's part of the ethos of Dragons Fly Together. That's part of how we want to help individuals succeed, as well as, you know, help all of us collectively succeed in the space. So Club 101, more than an NFT club. Yeah, this is, you know, ChatGPT gets illusions of grandeur sometimes, but a movement, a community, a legacy. Dragons fly together. At the core of Club 101 are what we call the 6 pillars. And these are things that we focus on in terms of what we're building, what we're developing, vectors, pillars that we're branching out into that also synergize really well together. So the first is knowledge and skill development. And that moves into courses, which can tie into the tech build of Soakverse through redeemables, through NFTs. Dragon opportunities are things where we externally will vet other projects, and we can do things like group buying for the membership. We can get access to things. One of our first Dragon opportunities actually was a seed funding round in a different project that we bought in before they even launched tokens, have done other stuff. And so we're kind of looking at diversified portfolios and opportunities, which makes sense. Good tie-in with Soakverse and the sister project of Soakmont. It's like there's alignment here. And key partnerships moves into key partnerships, like Soakverse. There's alignment. Um, I'll go back to internal development. Actually, no, let's keep going. We'll get there again. 4, metaverse exposure, events and spaces. So there is clearly another layer of infrastructure that is being developed over our physical, tangible reality. It doesn't have to be called metaverse. What we've seen of metaverse may be janky. Um, Apple's coming out with visual, the tech's going to be more elegant. And how do we position for that? How do we prepare for that? So that's one of our pillars. We're watching for that. We own property the club owns property in a few different metaverses. 2 of our Dragon advisors are both, one's a founder of Ethereum Towers, Jason. Paul is a co-founder of TCG World. And again, diverse metaverse expansion, which allows us other vectors for sharing our message, our build, our community, and what we build and develop. Also ties in the key partnerships. There's a bit of blending. There's synergy. Den of Dragons services internal and vetted. So this is what YB was talking about, saying, we have a bunch of very talented dragons. I kind of believe that everyone nowadays in the internet age, we can access things to learn and grow where we're interested. I know Crypto Lee, he's like learning Blender. He's teaching himself coding right now. He was like recording past broadcasts, and he just is volunteering and helping out. We're helping each other fly together, and where he can use things, where we could develop abilities for him to keep growing in his interests and passions. We want to do that. We have artists. We want to support them. We want to incubate that. Using the service offerings helps with all of that. Shooty Pew Pew, or Shoopy Poop, whatever you see him in different discords as. I know he holds in both. Is also incredibly wisdomous in the realms of yoga and training like that. And so I don't know if I can say this, but he's been, we've been talking with him a little bit about helping him develop his vision for his own platforms that he's looking at creating, and seeing how we tie Web3 in that. And then that can tie into the metaverse spaces, because we own a floor in ETH Towers. We can have drop-in yoga. We could do all kinds of things, all connected. Goes back to the Dragon Opportunities internal, where we can incubate things, we can fund it, we can have funding rounds inside, we can do stuff like that, and we can help individuals and the community grow and expand into the space. And then finally, that gets us to active member benefits, which is, as a club, the Ancient Dragon Horde we're a bit different than Soakverse. Soakverse has the DAO. The club has the Ancient Dragons, has the 3 Ancient Dragons, and then recently the 4th Ancient Dragon finally appeared. From the beginning of the club's founding, there were 4 planned. There was a wallet set aside for a 4th dragon that would bring greater skills needed into the club. And that 4th dragon, as part of the partnership, is the Soakverse DAO. And so that kind of connects energetically the projects in a very fascinating way, because as one grows and supports, so does the other. There's resiliency. There's greater resiliency there as a greater ecosystem. And active member benefits are a way of, it's kind of like there's a little bit of play to earn. There's some rewards there, and I'll get into that. Benefits of membership. Basically, perks, privileges, and potentials. So we talked about a little bit of this. This is how the club is structured, and the 6 pillars work, is that exclusive access to club events and initiatives. So for members, there's token gated things. We're waiting for a Metaverse Penthouse to happen so that we can actually host events there. We're Diamond Dragons. I'm guessing Soakverse OGs. I think we should put them on the guest list. And key founders from other projects we have relationships with. When we're incubating or we have different opportunities, we're also going to do lotteries or something for other members for some select seats. But that's like a potential to access some early funding rounds. And then if there's still supply available or other things, we'll bring it down to lower memberships, and then we can even bring it public. But that's a way that we can we can develop and support our own membership, including Soakverse, in what we create. And there's rewards. If you want, you can find this later. I'll post the presentation so I don't just keep droning on. I've been talking for 12 minutes. I'm looking at the time. Active member rewards. This is basically a part that will interact between the Weird collection, which is our new maps, our new member access pass migration, which I'll mention briefly, as well as the dragons when we migrate, consolidate them. But you can see here, some of these names may change. I grabbed this from Gitbook version 1. Gitbook version 2 will be coming out soon. And we're going to tweak out some of this. Tweak, I guess not tweak out. But basically, depending on the kind of NFTs you're holding, the memberships that are revealed, there's different rewards that you'll earn from our horde if you're active. If you're contributing, you're active. And so this is how we've structured. And the way it works within the club as a whole is that there's a desire to be accessible and inclusive. Shooty, yes. This is Ancient Dragons. This is Ancient Dragon Welsh, Mike, and this is Sidon. And we haven't had time to finish the fourth OG, not the fourth OG, but the fourth Ancient Dragon for the Soakverse DAO. So we do have a little lemur here that's got a sword and has a little dashing hat and ensemble. So yeah, this is representing the DAO, the Soakverse DAO. I was a bit rushed on the presentation. My apologies. But anyways, this is in the Gitbook. There's a lot here, just like there's a lot in Soakverse. I think the take home from this is both projects have depth, are well thought out. Come and ask questions in the Discords where there's a lot of time to expand on this, and you can see more about it. That's okay. It's a good derail. Coming up, upcoming events quickly. We have the C101 DApp launch. And like YB was saying earlier, as there's a lot of development and things happening on the Soakverse app, getting that all hunky-dory and getting all the automation and stuff, it makes sense to get that sound square solid before we flip that and build out the C101 version. That's going to be great and huge. There's a lot more. We can talk about that another time. Like I said, we can have another event about that. There's going to be the Weird migration and mint. This is taking our current member access passes. We're giving them sexy art that Octo has done, Enigmatic Octopi / Cthulhu. Great artist. This is the placeholder. So, I mean, I'll geek out for one quick moment. This is the beautiful thing about the tech build and why I'm so happy that we have this partnership now. Because we have the vision, we have these ideas, and now we have the technical ability through Soakverse, which is also going to be getting the Soakverse DAO and stuff. I don't know if they're going to be getting like royalties from like the mint and stuff. Can I say that? Okay, I can say that. Okay, thank you. So basically, that's how like energetically it flows and it works. So you get this when you stake it, it will reveal to be one of other things. Oh, I'll show you if I can figure this out. How do I? Haha. Yes. Okay. Whew. This is a placeholder. Then it'll reveal to either be water, fire, earth, wind, like the 4 ancient dragon elements, or this one, which is like the weird arbiter, which is like balanced. And then there's like a little crown on half the head because that's a really special one. And then this is like the emissary. There's only 10 of those. And 2 are in the wild and 8 are in the horde. And we'll use those for special things. Okay, I just got excited about that. Anyways, then we're going to follow it with the Dragonicence consolidation for the main dragons. And I can do this one more time. Then I'll stop. Okay. So actually, you can't really even see it, and it's so dark. Okay, I'll share a visual later, but here. Haha, I was hiding it all along. This in the center here is what the metallic sapphire dragons will be looking like. So something after the post-Dragonicence. So you can see an example of the art and what's going to be coming down the pipeline for the Dragonicence. I could say more, but I don't want to say more right now. But yeah, so great art, sexy art, good utility, a lot of fun stuff, base rewards. So just holding and being active, you get base rewards. But we also have like fun gamification stuff through the D app that, and if people participate, they're going to get more stuff. And we all grow, we all fly together. Oh yeah. For more info, like I said, come by the Discord and we'll be there. I'm done. I'm clear.
That was good. That was good. Very concise, like me, and like you said, there is a lot more to say about everything. We wanted to keep it short and sweet, but there will be other events. There will be some discussions in the Discord, and we are currently getting ready for an AMA portion. Let's try to keep the question, if any, on the partnership itself. If we have a bit more time, we can expand a bit. Like I said, play to earn, we will discuss that later. So it's really more about the partnership and the short-term events coming up. You can ask question about the weird migration, if any. Um, so anything. That's just a good moment to ask and clarify the questions, and just get answers to what's been unanswered for the past weeks. So yeah, so currently checking into, oh yeah, Sapa saying that daddy likes royalties. Yeah.
Man, we did well.
So
We got through all of that. It's 42 minutes. We still have 18 minutes to answer questions.
yeah, absolutely. Daddy likes royalties. I like that.
Oh, we've got a question here. I can answer that one. Show what fields
Sorry.
are the ancient dragons in? So it's a really great question. The Soakverse DAO comes. No, just kidding. So the three ancient dragons, the three original ancient dragons. One of them is Mike S. Miller. He's a 30-year comic veteran who has illustrated for Marvel, DC Comics, Game of Thrones. He's the founder of Funky Monkey Frat House. He's done art for a bunch of different Web3 projects. A lot of us met in Funky Monkey Frat House. That's why this guy here, my Orajo the Berserker Genesis custom here, this is a Funky Monkey one done by Ben Herrera, who's another comic book artist. So the great thing with Mike is he's definitely a man of integrity, true to his word, 30-year comic vet. He has his own YouTube. He's got a bunch of kids. He's fully doxxed. he's very honest. He tells it like I see it. You might know him as the guy who did DC Injustice. There's a scene where Superman is killing the Joker and has his hand through the Joker. He drew that. He also did Game of Thrones. And the beautiful fun thing there is services that we're developing, etc., we can use to help the Funky Monkey Frat House, which is a partner project of Club 101. And he also, I happen to know, he also is sitting on at least 2 sets of 10K different incredible art for generative art for NFT products and projects that if we had teams that could help do stuff, we could do stuff with that. Not only that, but part of the frat house is it's an artist incubator for him and his other, like his friends and contacts who are in Web 2, who we were tired of them just getting shafted. Like they did work for major labels on property and intellectual property they don't own, they don't get royalties, they don't get money from it. And they spend years getting arthritis in their hands doing great art. And then at the end of it, they got paid their like little bit and they got like publicity, right, for being known. And it's like, no, let's use Web3 to build them legacy income. And so Brian Shearer is one of the guys. He's done Transformers, done GI Joe, like these are people with great portfolios. Doug Tin-Napel is another guy. He did Earthworm Jim. If you remember Earthworm Jim, the game of the comics, he's another contact. So that's Mike. Seiden, who his name is Ken Seiden. He was a VP for a pet supply company, pet shampoo company. He then pivoted. I mean, he's traveling. We've got their bios also on the site and other places, but his current real world is running one of the largest aquaponics facilities in the U.S. This is where you use fish to grow food. and fruit, greens and things. He sells them to Michelin starred restaurants, to local people, and also provides to food banks and services. He's taught English. He's like the whale of the group. He's invested in a bunch of different projects, makes connections, and is a really grounded, great guy who's traveled extensively. Very wisdomous. And then Welsh, the Welsh ancient dragon. He's the pragmatic Welshman who keeps us accountable and has a good eye on budgets and all sorts of things like that. I forget exactly where he's got 2 degrees. He works in like arbitration law in building projects. He manages some $1 billion industrial building projects through the UK and I want to say that's the Middle East and things like that, and all of them are really excited and committed to the opportunities of growth in Web3 individually and collectively. That was long. Sorry.
That was very long, but that was worth it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was a good question. Is there any other question? So when Soakverse lore comic, so that's a possibility in the future. Not the main focus right now, but it can become one pretty
I mean,
quickly.
we're not saying it has. We're not acknowledging that anything like that has ever been discussed.
Yeah, and I've seen another question that was the when. So, when what?
Lone
Because
Wolf,
like,
Captain. When
yeah,
when what when what, Captain?
a lot of things coming up. So, I would say for the when portion, like the automation is imminent. By imminent, I mean everything's ready. We wanted to finish some other stuff. We deploy Spuck. So the Spark token last weekend, so like 5 days ago, 6 days ago. So that Spark token is part of the automation and it needed to be fully deployed and stable before we can move forward for the next steps. And I was about to deploy it using our old tech, and I decided to rewrite things also there to be already an upgradable contract. Even it was not necessary for Spark because there is no reason for it to move a lot, but we wanted on the dev side to just use it as an experiment to make sure that we are in full control of custom upgradable contracts that we deploy, which will be the upcoming contracts for everything, like everything. So that structure is our foundation. So this is why we wanted to make sure it took me like probably a day, like 9 hours of stuff with the management part and preparing the announcement, but that was supposed to take an hour max. So that time was supposed to be allocated for the automation. And so leading into the automation this weekend, leading then to finishing to prepare the migration for the weird. So the maps will migrate into the weird. There will be some more information coming up. There will be some more specific dates, but this is also very imminent. We've been preparing that for quite a while. Most stuff is ready. It's only a matter of getting, which is finished since yesterday, the full stability of the app with the new text. So that's another when that is answered, maybe not with a precise date, but with a very
But
short-term
in
timeline.
some certain timeframes, we can say is that there's a series of events. The Club 101 D app will happen first, and that's going to be very soon. Very soon. Then the weird migration will be not too long after that, and then the Dragonaissance will be a little bit longer after that. So does that I think that feels accurate-ish.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we wanted the automation to be ready also because Soakverse to deploy everything on the tech side and to make sure to support the Club 101 through their migration, but also after if there is any issue. We receive a royalties. We have upcoming 20% of the mints and royalties, and it was supposed to be 25 at first. Now it's 20. The other 5% is for the club to purchase Soulverse assets like the Saltman token and NFTs and all, in the goal to be generating some constant flow into the club. to be able to then distribute to member through the active member benefits and other mechanism like the gamification, play to earn, and all. So we're really flywheeling things into each other and to the external world during the process. And the reason why it also makes sense for Soakverse and for the club is that we will always be maintaining and increasing and improving our technology in the coming years. So it's something that is pretty expensive for most projects, but now we will be doing it for multiple projects at the same time and for multiple communities, project, and products. So to make sure that everything is always up to date without any problem, like you guys know, um, Wallet Connect 1 got deprecated like early July, end of June, early July. Many projects are not working right now and nobody can help them because they
Yeah.
were built custom and now they don't
And they're all
have the
waiting.
budget
They're
for the
waiting on their devs, and they don't have the money, and it's slow, and it's yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So this is where that resiliency will be built, and this is why it took some time lately to make sure that everything is rock solid, at least for the current state of tech. But we will make sure to keep up to date with everything regarding the technology and all. Like you know, also many people, many communities in an NFT collection lost their royalties with the fight between OpenSea and Blur, where OpenSea and other marketplace decided to remove, not enforce on-chain royalties. So many collections, even big one like the Goblin Town and other things like this, they just died or almost died because they don't have any funds flowing in to be able to
Mhm.
sustain the projects.
Which is
Um,
ridiculous that they brought in so much funds and they didn't either they just kept it or they're not using it. Like I mean it's ridiculous.
yeah, that's a Web2 problem that we did discuss. There is not enough transparency and
Uh-huh.
accountability in many projects, so they just take the funds. So
So
they
and
just take
yeah.
it.
And I think this is another great thing about Soakverse and Club 101 is like when you look at Club 101, the ancient dragons, they have they have dragons. That's their whole return on like they got dragons. The DAO has dragons. Um, the way things are generated is through success as a whole growing, and I think this is when you look at the SPOC, the proof of contribution as well that growth comes from working together as a community and benefit comes from the whole community succeeding. It's not this extractive parasitic. It's not parasitic Web3. It's symbiotic, like venom. Okay, no, that's maybe a bad illusion, but it's symbiotic, and I think this is a big difference. And I also want to say with what you were talking about there, YB, that one thing I'm so excited about is again that we have the services teams being built to help in like one, it's not like everyone needs to half-ass a services team. It's like we can collectively support really good services, develop it, use it across our infrastructure ecosystems, and we can also develop stuff that we need and want to use. So we're able to look at use cases, find it, roll it out, create it, test it, and then have it be available to sell or to service other projects. If as we incubate and launch projects, we can utilize it there. So yeah, just huge opportunity. It's
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And like said, there will be some velocity coming up in the entire ecosystem, communities, and the symbiotic work that we are doing together.
Uh,
Um,
can I answer this question?
yeah,
I
yeah,
can answer this
absolutely.
question briefly a little bit, which is one of the way that the token is going to be utilized is because of the OG, the Soakverse OGs that are going to be in the Ancient Dragon Horde, and because of the 5% of royalties and whatnot that are used to collect assets. With talking with the Ancient Dragons and everything, the idea again, like YB mentioned briefly, is that we'll be able to that the Horde can stake tokens, can generate tokens, and that these will be part of the base membership rewards that come out. When you look at the thing I shared a while ago, it was like every holder that's active gets treasure chests. They might not be treasure chests. We got to finalize if they're treasure chests and the gamifications gem pouch. But the idea is that being members, you're going to get access to a number of different tokens and things. So one of the other things that the Ancient Dragon Horde is full of is a huge amount of IDO, staking into different IDO platforms that allows us to get access to IDO launches. We can talk about that. You can bring questions into the club around that. But part of what we give out as what would be given as rewards from the Horde are also Soakmont tokens, IDO tokens based on disbursements, as well as the things that are generated by other elements of the Ancient Dragon Horde. We have an asset list. It's in the Git book. I can show you later. But so that's a key way that we would use Soakmont tokens, and then we can look at other elements as well. But I think the big one is going to be probably buying, stacking tokens, and then distributing them to the members.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have the plan to develop some more products in Soakverse and together, where there will be some perks to use the Soakman token instead of other currencies to consume and to pay for those, or to participate in some products themselves. So a lot of information about this coming a bit later. Okay, I can drop an alpha. So there will be some auctions for unique items that will take place only using Soapman token. So that's one of the
Sexy.
many things. That's an alpha, and so it will be impossible to get this outside of using the Soapman token.
That sounds like something that would be good for us to also do in the Club 101 gamified experience.
Absolutely. That's why I was saying that I have
Wow.
some things in the work and some things, some IDs that will be put in place a bit after.
Okay, I'll share.
So,
I'll share something. Share something. Okay, so when we do the weird migration, everyone who migrates their OG map on day one, migrates and stakes, or anyone who mints on day one, they're going to get a special item in their backpack. Except in Club 101, we call it the knapsack because got to be a little different. Get a special item for doing it on day one, and anyone who mints a map, mints a weird, or migrates a map in the first week, holds it that first week, also going to get an item per weird in their wallet. So
pretty nice.
I've said it. I've said it. It's recorded. Now it has to happen.
Now it has to happen. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that question, it leads into that question. That's a pretty good one. Besides Saltmount and Le Grand Bleu, are there any other fund generators in the work or already in place? Yes, there are. There are many already. Like we said, we have royalties on the tokens that flows back into the ecosystem. We have royalties on internal and external connection. We are migrating the OG. The OG will get a lot of value. I believe it's not anything that is set in stone, but that the OG will grow in value, in the value that they hold. Like I said, not necessarily a monetary value, but like in what it gives as benefits and what it gives as access and what it gives as future drops and all of that. The OG will get a lot of activity, in my opinion, so it can lead into a lot of trading on different marketplaces. So with the migration, the royalties will go back into the ecosystem. We have, like said, the weird royalties, the weird so mint and secondary market royalties. We have other partnership with other communities and collections and things in the future that we are preparing. We have many aligned, but we need to just get our things in place and fully automated first before continuing to develop those partnerships. So this will generate some movement. We also have the cross chain swapper that we will create more documentation. We will create live videos to explain how to use it and how to use it to participate in different opportunities on different chains. So that cross chain swappers, we receive royalties of it. Out of it, there is already like 500, almost $600 of royalties received from the cross chain swap, which means this flows in directly back into the smart contracts for the automation. And we are creating more opportunities as of now. So yeah, so this is what we have right now, and also there will be some referral revenues for services like um, when we get some contracts on board to for the technology, for the marketing, for some advisory, there will be some payments made, and it can be made directly to the DAO, or we can receive a referral from this. There is also an agreement with Saltman, but we will discuss that later also. So there is, I would say, six different revenue sources active, and much more will be deployed in the coming weeks and months. The play to earn itself will have some source of revenues, but mostly some source of velocity, and the velocity will lead into some automated trading, automated like royalties and all of that. So that volume will itself just bring some stuff back into the ecosystem. Yeah, so that answer it for now. And like I said, all will be fully transparent and automated, so we don't touch anything. Nobody has access to anything. It just flows in on the blockchain. That's the beauty of the blockchain. There will only be like some off-chain revenues that will flows back in on-chain, and it will also be fully transparent. So people will be able to see that transaction comes from an on a crypto on-ramping deployed to the contract, and then it flows in the ecosystem. That will be very cool. Like I don't think anybody did something like this before. So and with like the Saltman token being fully deflationary, so no new circulating supply, only burnt directly on chain. It's done automatically each week with the distribution and the tax and distribution. So with more velocity, it will just it will just like go down in supply. So we we can make assumption of what it can do after.
I just wanted to share this quickly as well. This is an inside look in the members area in Club 101, and I think if you're in Soakverse and you're a member there, you'll see a couple things that are touched upon similar, like this goals and successes, and so I mean, so there's some overlap in here, but really the idea of building the education and value for members who want to learn and grow and know more in the space, that's kind of part of where we're positioning the club within Soakverse, and within the whole ecosystem as well. And so, you know, I know that there's alpha call and other stuff there. We're also saying like this is where it's like, come in here, talk about crypto, participate, you know, ask about trading. We're gonna, like, all of these different elements are things that we can build courses on. We're going to be doing more events, more closed events, more other events, and this is part of the build out and the structure. So I just wanted to give a quick little look in there, and a shout out to Pickle, because he does a lot of great work. And YB, I think you meant, I don't know if you mentioned it, the ADA pool. We were talking about that earlier before we even got into it, but sort of the benefit of the collaboration and the kinds of things we're just building, and that's a good example, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
I did talk with you about the ADA pool, but I think I forgot to mention. So
Yeah,
that's something that Pickle did develop in the Club 101, so people can delegate their ADA. It's you keep the ADA in your wallet. You really just take it and delegate it to the validator node that Pickle did put in place, and you receive reward based on your delegation that you did. So that's cool products because it's pretty stable. And if you believe in the ADA token, which I think when we are in a bear like DC going DCA, so dollar cost averaging on some position for the larger crypto is a good strategy.
but this is not financial advice, and you should do your
it's
own
not.
research.
No, it's not. It's not financial
I know.
advice at all.
I'm just disclaiming.
Yeah, it's just that if you check historically, this is how I would say that most money has been made in the crypto and in everything, in fact. But
Yeah.
you need to only invest in projects that you believe in and that have large potential. And it's never 100% sure that you will make money. We've seen Black Swan event, we've seen Terra Luna, we've seen other projects, we've seen
Hmm.
FTX. So there is Black Swan events, so we cannot
Hmm.
just pour our money into investment and just wait.
And this is why it's important that anyone who's new to the space as well find places. I don't care where, you know, we're good places, but you can go to other places too. But find places where you ask questions. Don't just ape into stuff. Don't just like throw away your money. Like, you know, there's a reason people have diversified for portfolios. And even if you're young or old and you're using money on high risk things for high return, like that's cool, that's fine. But you know, have some plan about it, get some information about it. And we don't want, ultimately we want all of our fellow members to succeed. And you know, we collectively can share from what we've learned, and collectively share from what we've learned from our dumbass mistakes, getting to be old bald men and beautifully elegant older women. So you know, whoever, you know, you've made mistakes along the way and learned from it. So that's another thing that we can share and help each other out with. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, so was there other questions? I think, like I told you in chat, Costly. So for the auctions, there will be different kind of auctions. Some will be for BNB Ethereum, some will be for using Soakman token. And for the Soakman token, the proceed can return into the ecosystem or it can be burned. It will be different kind of auctions. And it will be fully transparent in the app, so you will see beforehand what kind of auctions it is. It will be integrated as part of the play to earn, so there will be some stuff, and sometimes you will have to discover the secret place where you can participate in that secret auction for secret things. That will be very cool. Yeah. So there is a stuff lemming, so that's love the swapper. We did a lot of testing on that swapper, and it seems to be the cheapest way to swap, because when you use some exchanges, you need to send a token, you have tax, you have gas, you have taxes on the trading, then you have some fees to withdraw and some taxes, then to move back the funds. So we've seen that that swapper is, and it's just instant instead of being 4 or 5 different manipulations. It's like only one, so it's much more easier and less expensive. So make sure to use a swapper on both Soakverse the app and the Club 101 Future the app when you want to swap. It supports the projects, both projects. It gives backs to that projects. We will use like this, like we said, it will be fully on Soakverse. It will be fully and transparently re-injected into the project. You will have some Discord notification when that happens. So this is what's coming up with the automation. There will be like a message in the channel saying, hey, this is a distribution from the swapper going back into the smart contract that is used to redistribute across the ecosystem. So that will be pretty cool. And this is part of things that we will need in the future to educate people, to show them like some videos on how to use the swapper, and to tell them that it's really supportive of the ecosystem and less fee for them when they need to go crashing. So that's pretty cool.
And for the dragons who are listening, that's going through simpleswap.io, which we're familiar with, which we've used before, and it's another part of the collaboration between the projects, because that was, I think, it was a recommendation that we brought in and utilized, and it's working beautifully. So dragons have used it, Soakverse has used it. Ask, bring your questions, but we've used it a lot. I made something. Not saying we have to stop right now, but thank you all for being here. Oh boy.
Nice, nice
Thank you.
outro, nice
Thank
outro.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, so finishing with some outro comments. We've been building a lot, like I said, with Rajo, with other member of Club 101, with Soakverse internally. We have a lot of things ready or about to be ready to sustain the velocity. That we didn't have in the past when we had more traction, more attention into Soakverse. It's hard to keep the full steam when there is so much things to build, so much things that are moving. We had some pretty a lot of uppercuts last fall. So in the coming weeks, we did build some resilience and some structure and some very strong foundation to be able to move forward and continue to push. And we're not there for only 1 year left. We are there for many years, and to create velocity and to create opportunities into the communities. Yeah. Anything else to add, Arajo?
No, that was good. I'm good. I'm happy. If any, well, I guess we could say that if anyone has any questions about any of this, swing by the discords. And if you are a Club 101 member and you haven't joined the Soakverse Discord, please do go over there. They're great people. They don't bite much. Also, vice versa. You know, if you're in Soakverse and you haven't swung by the club, come on over, and you can ask questions in Gen Chat. If you don't have to be a member, we have games. Quests of Glory are games that you can, it's like a Rumble. You click it, we run it twice a day. You get onto a wheel. At the end of the week, the winner gets a member access pass currently.
Ooh, this is how games. I won my this is how I won my map.
That's like the we have candy, you know, by the at the end. final comment. We have candy. Okay.
Cool. So we will announce some other dates, some other events. I want to be much more disciplined on the live events, trying to make it very an official thing. Like you see, from the previous live stream that we did improve the tools that we use. We did improve like the structure, and we will be able to stream more often. So keep posted. Like I said, join the 2 discords, make sure that you are on both, so there will be some announcements coming up, and let's move together, let's fly together.
Yeah, very nice. And Twitters, if you see any of our Twitter accounts there, you know, liking, retweeting, commenting goes a super long way. It really helps with the algorithm. So that's a way that you can support the projects that you're holding to reach new audiences.
Yeah. So let's finish with like a small rock music. Okay, so that's the end. Thank you guys. Thank you, and if you have any question, let's circle back in Discord.